Right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the Then and Now TNN TV Media Empire program. Today, now the 27th, is a Tuesday, the 27th of December 2022. We are fastly coming to the end of a very momentous year, and there's so much for talk about, not tonight, but in the subsequent days, wrapping up 2022. We guest tonight is very special. He's been on the platform a few times, but we haven't had him for many months now. That will be over a year, and that's kind of significant. And the moment itself called for a guest of this kind of a caliber and connection. He's still having a hard time trying to find his way into the program, but we determined for Brian come on. So we ask Fambulem for continue for tuning and continue for share. This is very, very important towards the end of the year, something which is critical to we nation. Elections looming, and this is not a generational thing, a generational decision that's about to be taken. And the central theme of tonight's program, which is about the former Vice President of the Republic of Sierra Leone, Honorable or His Excellency Sam Sumana, Alhaji Sam Sumana, is the center of the conversation here tonight. And the man who is the guest, that's somebody we work within the offices of the Vice President and knows him very well. So we're going to try to go deep into his mind to see whether he understands the mind of the former Vice President. But at the same time, we're having a hard time bringing him on. So we're going to keep trying in the background. Notwithstanding, I want to use the occasion. Of course, we've already celebrated Christmas the 25th. I had a great time. And I believe, the very bulk of us, the vast majority of us had a great time as well. But it's indicative of us that whenever we're having a great time, we not forget the fallen. In other words, during the period of 2022 that we into and coming to an end, we lost many good friends along the way, family and friends. And for them people, and they will want to keep them in with prayers. Those that were lost, may their souls continue to rest in perfect peace. Those who lost loved ones, family, and etc., may they also, find courage for continue for persevere on. Because in this life, what really matters is for continue for soldier on. You have to be realistic. It's not based on fake propaganda and abstract writings and what have you, such as life begins at 40, even though you are 60, and you want to buy into that without being practical about it, then you are a joke. Then you are living in a fantasy world. So you have to be kind of realistic in this life that we live in. You have to be practical in the life that we kind of are living in. So yes, we dedicate the program to those who lost their life, those who lost loved ones. May we all continue to find courage. Yes, Christmas was good. I had a great time. For the last 48 hours, I haven't been anywhere. I've just been within the confines of my home and my family, and I'm feeling really good. And I want to use the occasion as well on Christmas Day for extend a thanks and appreciation to the family members and friends who turn up within with domicile, which was open, because that's what the occasion is for anyway. Open up your hearts, open up your homes, and welcome those, here who are willing to celebrate the day with you. So yes, we had quite a great time with family and friends. And I salute you all very, very much. Again, this is important. Elections is coming. The conversation here tonight is supposed to center on former Vice President Sam Sumana. hopefully the guest managed to find a way out. I've showed him everything that I can, and he's trying in the background to try and join the program. And I have no doubt that if you continue to persevere, you will definitely find a way through. When one door is locked, many others are open. So it's a matter of keep trying. So, ladies and gentlemen, once more, this is a reminder that the TNN TV media empire, we get Boku program where they come on away for the new year is all set, both domestically and internationally. This is not the hub of the conversation. Do not touch that dial because we're coming right back. So like I say, we just try to get the guest on. We're not going to make this program very long, short and very interesting, and it's centered around the former vice president. And we can give you a hint. It's no secret. It's about his return to the All People's Congress Party, membership issues. It's about local council elections, the suspension of it or either. Those who are saying that without bank slips, people will not register to vote, and many things they will try to understand. So we go look back when at the essence of this particular program, and they talk about the editorial of this platform as a whole, and then why was it, why is it, and waiting at the way forward. This is not the day and now TNN Media Empire. And we also, whilst we wait for the guest for join, maybe we can share some of the accomplishments with Una, because without Una, it's impossible for let it be. So let's take this opportunity and see whether we can share some of the accomplishments while we wait for the guest for join in. Right? Let's try to see whether we can do this. Yeah, I just want to share my screen with Una quickly. Let me share my screen with Una quickly. Yeah. Right. So what you want to see on the screen now is a snapshot of with 2022 accomplishments. By far, this is huge. This is great. Could have done far more better. But you get for keep in mind that we hate for use the word haters, but it is really true that there are people out there that hit the ground where TNN TV Media Empire they work on. Of course, not everybody made a secret, but you get people living in secret places who are working against the advancement of this platform. They've tried. They've pulled all kinds of stops for make sure say will not hit the high levels. They failed so far because for many years, 6 years plus counting in a row, we are still a main source of information for we people. I mean, the emails are there, the messages are there, and here is revealing evidence. And like I've been saying, so just this year we got 194,000 people. 194,000 people. That's a whopping number. That accumulates or amount to rather 3.4 million watch time minutes. 3.4 million watch time minutes. That's how long in our platform for. And remember again, the background of this or backdrop of this, there are people, for example, is on the platform from England. We're trying to have a national conversation which includes everyone. But obviously, the ruling party see us differently in a different light. We've extended invitations to them for a number of years now, and they've never made the attempt to take up those invitations. In fact, some of them have made it clear to me that they are not going to give the platform any credence because the platform is too critical of them. Can you imagine just being critical of you? So if I'm critical of you, why not take the opportunity and come and justify the nonsense that I am talking, so that it appears as if the guy is critical of me, but look at we don't can sort this thing out. We already say not even true. So the ruling party is not taking up our invitations at all. And then you get loads of others who are offended. Remember, so we get 17 political parties who are offended by this platform only for speaking the truth. But yet we managed to rack up 194,000 total views. Last year, it was 250,000. So we dropped this time. But again, that on the basis of production. We did less production this year, less broadcast this year than we did last year. And significantly, we broadcast far, far less because as the CEO of the platform, I try to give other people an opportunity for rebrand the platform, take a back step, be some kind of an engineer and inspiration at the background. So Mr. Sef will be the major broadcast day peak period on a Sunday and some other weekdays. I decided to take a back step. And not only because of that particular reason, I've also been having problems with my eyes. Some of people who I refer to friends will know this because it's no secret. I don't hide. This is not something hidden. I've been having problem with my right eye for quite a while, and you will see it. And if you go back to earlier videos, you will see that the eye was much more smaller. I've been going through treatment for the eye. It's opening up, as you can see. So I was advised by doctor for try to avoid continuous computer light because this is artificial. Remember, you need the natural light out. But I spent so much time, hours on hours. So I try to pull back a bit. And then we bring in Barbah. Obviously, Barbah is high hitting, playing his game on 10 or 15 dimensional chess level. Love and look the brother, but he's hitting the notes. And we are closing the year together. Watch out, it's going to be interesting. 2 days of retrospecting 2022, me and Barbah. Don't forget for tuning. That's about 76 hours from now. Barbah and myself wrapping up 2022 in grand style from January to December. So yes, we had 194,000 views, 3.4 million watch time minutes, 6,681 total likes, 1,821 new subscribers, and this was in August month when we had the most views of all. The top view videos of the year was one where we do about Maju Cherry Kokoba, who happened to be the opposition leader in parliament, in a question called or titled "A Wolf in Sheep's Clothing." We had guests Cashbox and Emmanuel the Rising Sun. Of course, it was a very contentious, conversation, panel interview, and everybody came away with their take on it. But we also know, based on public opinion, what one side, was doing as opposed to the other side, and some of the accusations that were treated. But the fact remains there. So you can still go have a look at this video, or stop read video. I see no reason why you cannot critique, your leaders. For this, I got accused, I got insulted, as being a rapist. What else again? Mami cost of some level. Still getting video and those videos will be played at a critical time. We have to play them because on the platform we tolerate such things. But the one that we do the video and the audio and the way decide to go into smearing and character assassination. Of course, these things doesn't come free. Okay, if you hear something so say verify, you decide for use them, of course you are complicit. This is what it is. So when that time comes, we'll ask question whether the All People's Congress, now people like this where they trade in profanity and vulgarity, is that the kind of people that you want for can lead the country? This is not only about your party, but about the nation. This is where we come from. That's the backdrop that we come from. So simply because we were critical of Barbah, which is a duty, it's duty bound on our side. Where some people decide to be very rude and ungenerous to us. But it's been like months now. We're still here. We ain't going nowhere. And it's on them. This is the epitome of illiteracy. Illiteracy, not a way just learn book or you can learn book, but where appropriate and wisely. That's exactly what you are. And we know there's a lot of illiteracy ongoing. So basically, ladies and gentlemen, the point that I'm trying to make here today is we watch the community of Benin now growing, and I don't see finally waiting happening. So now this they continue. So by the way, this is from YouTube. We want people to understand this. So this now YouTube creators, for those of us who are creators and bloggers. This is 2022. Now we year in review as per YouTube TNN TV Media Empire 2022 review. 194,000 total views, 3.4 million minutes watch time, 6,681 total likes, 1,821 new subscribers. And this not despite all the boycott from senior government officials. In fact, the entire government are boycotting the platform. And the interesting thing is, like, you are accused of being APC or broadcasting APC paraphernalia, manifestos, and what have you. And then while SLPP, they accuse you of that, APC is cursing you up because you are trying to observe a middle ground and being critical of systems. And therefore, people who are attached to the systems. Anyway, what we find out is, like, some Sierra Leoneans, there are changes coming with way. But some Sierra Leoneans, them unfortunately not prepared for that change the way they can, because they either be their way or no way at all. Unfortunately, change will come. Nothing remains static, and the only constant is change itself. Ladies and gentlemen, in the new year coming, we ask una, join we in shaping the narrative. Join we in shaping the concept of a future Sierra Leone where we anticipate, see, we want for we, and we begin a yet unborn. Not to then contour politicians them and supporters them where they only get crumbs falling off the table, and for their particular reason, then they decide to go at other people and for being critical. It doesn't really work. We don't come this far, and for silence, it's not really going to work. Let's see whether we've got this guy. Let's see whether we got Barbah now. Let's see whether we got Barbah. And I think I've talked enough about this. I want to say thank you to all those who made this possible. And we continue to use the emoticons and the icons like the like. If you like the video, give a thumbs up. I mean, for example, we cannot have over 3,000 subscribers on YouTube. And then on a watch time, you get only 100 or 200. Where's the other 2,000, 2,800? Where are they? Okay. And let's try and grow the subscribership program as well. You see, the goodness about our own platform is everything we do here is organic. We'll not spend 1 cent for increase the membership, the number. I say that publicly, and this is a fact. Because say for use all the algorithm there, you can spend money and they can help you for bumper more. So we go looking at 30,000, 50,000 because they've helped you. Well, this is non-existent. It's not really there. But when we say we get 3,000, these are physical 3,000 people, and we hope for double that number, if not triple that number in the new year. And for this, we're going to be needing your help. Thank you so much, TNN, for being so kind to us and being grateful to us. Famulema still wait for Barbah. Let me give a call. Bear with me. We need to forget Tab on the program, so we will talk and chop it up about former Vice President Sumana, the situation regarding membership, the situation regarding Kono, the situation regarding Urana the boss na Kono, because we hear all this infight between Dana Konomani and Sumana. Of course, there's a rivalry going on, but we want to understand who is who. And also in that mix, for the first time, I want to mention the name Dr. Kaifala Mara, because few things that happened lately, and because I am associated with the camp, not as actively or proactively as I used to be. So when few things happen, I get inundated with calls and messages. It's like, hey, Prince, what's going on? Of course, I can't explain this because I'm no longer in that inner court. Do I make myself clear? So today I don't declare this publicly. I'm no longer in that inner court. So when I ask questions about Dr. Mara, a decent politician, I'm no longer in that position for answer those questions because I'm no longer central to Dr. Mara in political campaign as I was some 4 years ago. But in the issue of Kono, for triangulate the entire thing, Dr. Mara is also in the mix. There are people from Kono who actively believe or once upon a time believe, say, Dr. Mara na Konoman. And because of indecency, they think that he could make a fine candidate. So inside economics, usually they mention the name. And today I'm going to ask Barbah as to, a son of the soil, what does he think about Dr. Kaifala Mara? Okay, so I think Tab is having a hard time. Sorry, what I can't. Okay, Tab is having a hard time coming on. So maybe we go do a little bit of do a little bit of small trial again, and then a little bit of a talk, and then we will move on, continue with YouTube, continue with Facebook. Okay, continue with YouTube. Well, just bear with me 1 minute here, please. I'm choosing an account. Okay, let me have one final chat tab and see what's going on. Okay, now your phone is still a use. You need for put them in landscape position, so at least we will get balance and professional in there. Yeah. Okay, that's it. So I think that's about all right. So you just need to adjust that so you go there in line with me because you did way behind. So I just remove you now, and when I bring you come back, I'll hit straight into the program. I'll make it short, nice and sweet. Yeah. All right then. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you know what I can always say, there's nothing like trying. Where we go school back in the 70s, 80s, but of course the same maxim is true today as it was true yesterday. Nothing like trying. If you fall down, what's important or interesting for let you grab back, because if you not grab back, which means that you're a loser, you're left there. So anyway, we managed to get we guests. So we confirm say we get tab on the program. Let me just bring tab on, ladies and gentlemen. Let me bring tab on. We've got tab on the program. And tab, if you can just bring Kandong down a little bit more, because okay, still a adjust. Let me just remove him, you know. And going into the new year, family, what we need for do, learn, observe, is we need for increase the quality of reproduction them, both in the size, the color, the production, and the graphic. Not only before the audience will they can begin to adjust. Going into the new year, we should be prepared by the time we click the go live button or we bring the guest to come on. We should be prepared for that. However, having said this, we already get with guests as soon as I can see. And we guests, it's a massive Sierra Leonean in many aspects, as he don't serve in a public capacity on a national level, as I know. And is the former executive, the former vice president, and so therefore work in the office of the vice president, I believe, for the duration of the vice presidency of His Excellency Sam Sumana. So the man will go understand the inside of both the office and the man himself. So we are very, very pleased for have Tab. Tab, it's been a while. I think this is over 2 years since we last hosted you on this platform. It's good to have you back. I'm really excited for having you back. And Christmas is just gone past, but I guess you and the family had a great time. And I want to wish you and the family a happy new year coming. And welcome to the TNN and Now Media Empire. Tab, you mute. Okay, so Tab is still trying to adjust. I mean, the brother made so many attempts in the background for make sure say that we do this tip. So for that, I want for comment. Let me stop this background music. For that, I want for comment Tab. But finally, we get and he's still try to make some adjustments now the background. So let's see whether he's ready. So Tab, you hear the introduction, former executive assistant to the former vice president of the Republic of Sierra Leone, His Excellency Alhaji Sidiki Sam Sumana. And and I'm happy to have you as well. It's been a long time, more than 2 years, I believe. But finally, you are here. So welcome. And thanks for taking up the offer for appear. Tab, I don't know why whenever they hear you again, this is another issue with your microphone. I think you need to adjust your microphone. So yeah, so we still having some technical problems. Managed to get the border on, and then there are issues with the microphone. So partly or significantly, I'm going to hold myself responsible because these are things that should have been sorted before we can turn out the audience. And these are things that I'm going to try to avoid, or we are going to avoid this year. We're going to put it on a professional level because this year, I mean, this new year where they come, I know say we get forget some significant international guests. Then when I watch out for the case about Ebola from an internationally renowned American journalist who they hope for host on the issue around Ebola that is coming. So we get for make sure say we don't do due diligence at the background, so we'll come at the foreground. We should be prepared for just transmit the message to we people, the video to we people. We gotta be professional. We gotta keep it professional. And can't say because now when I say like we, because we na Dakiman now, so therefore we cannot be professional. No, that is absolutely wrong. But Fambulem, I want to bring this back to our attention that tonight we get the former EA to the former vice president, that's the executive assistant, the man we spent about 8 years, the duration of the stay of the vice presidency under Ernest Bai Koroma in government. We're happy for Tab Barbah. And one can talk about the former vice president. If you hear the talk from me nose or nasally, because I get massive cold, somebody say, or people they say the bug is going around, so there's been cold and cough and you name it. We want to keep this program short. The guest still having a hard time. Hopefully he comes again. And when he comes, we'll begin to talk about Vice President Sam Sumana. But whilst we wait for, I'll begin dig deep into them. Or they set the rules for 2022. As una heard earlier on, and no need for repeat, una don't see the statistics itself about the TNN TV media empire, despite the rumors, despite the boycott, despite the vitriol, the character assassination towards the platform. This notion that you go begging people, to come on the platform. I think we gone past that a long time ago. It's up to you if you want to come to the platform or not. If you don't come, that not going to stop we from having a broadcast either about issues surrounding you, which we would like for take a shot at, not you as an individual, but in discussing issues around you, then it's obvious that your name might pop up. And if your name pop up, it's not intentional, like for say that's you we are targeting. You need for read deep. This year when they come, we they admonish Sierra Leoneans them. And that's what they say. If we now watch the TNN TV media empire, we language, we approach to issues has been one of maximum respect. I repeat, we approach to issues regarding with people them, with country, has been one of maximum respect. Because we feel say we get an obligation for bring light to we people them, so that we all go help for understand, not get upset and begin insult the very people that way you want to try for bring on side, which most bloggers them I think can do a lot of blunder in. As soon as they're frustrated and take it out of the people, and then the next day after the damage is done, you want for kind of encourage the people. No, you must have lost a bunch of people. But I can tell you that for the past years, or in the most recent year, if you want to reflect back on that, you go see, say, we've always been very reciprocal. We've always been very respective of we people them, despite we disagreement with them, but we understand we obligation for try for change the narrative or shape opinion, shape concept for the greater good of the country. We know say it's a tedious work. We understand that. And it can be frustrating at times. But forget there, you have to exercise patience, which we have been doing. Never in the broadcast of our audios, videos, have we ever lifted up a finger at our people because they got it wrong. Never have we chastised our people because they've got it wrong. Never have tried to shame our people because they've got it wrong. Because to err is human. And if you think, say, you sabiam along with the others, then don't you think that, say, now we duty for let we help people and for understand the path where we want for go. And remember, say, we don't talk and I say the information and we provide so that people are able to make their own decisions themselves. At least the decision made is an informed one. An informed one, so that means you understand what is involved. That is the obligation on our part. That is what we have said we will do for we Salon people. Ladies and gentlemen, I think Barb Taba is having a hard time coming back. We managed to get only for lose the audio. We go give him a few more minutes. Let's give him about 10 more minutes. If it doesn't turn up, then maybe we'll have to do the program for another day. But for reminder, now this is not the TNN TV Media Empire. We will talk to una this evening, the 27th of December 2022. These are the closing days of 2022. It's been a very momentous year, but somehow we have survived this far, and by God's grace, we were able to see 2023 together. Having said this, we don't want to forget those who we lost along the way, family, good friends that we lost along the way. May light perpetual continue for shining their souls, and may their souls continue for rest in perfect peace. Yeah, Tab, you hear me? Unmute your audio quickly. Hello, Tab. Unmute. Wow, what's going on? I don't know if now your phone you use or, but you hear me? Give me a thumbs up if you hear me. Tab, if you hear me, give me a thumbs up. Hang on. What's going on? Hang on. I hope this problem is not mine. Now bear with me. Tabby, do you hear me now? What's going on? Okay. Famulem, wanna do me a favor quickly. I'll talk about the audience. Let me just do a quick sound check with the general audience so we don't look like complete idiots. All right. So Famulem Ufuna de me, which I suppose say una they do because you will have broken away a long time. I've been talking for the best part of 37 minutes. Can you give me a thumbs up, please? Anybody in the chat room, Zainab, Sheriff Bangura, give me a thumbs up if you hear me audio, please. Why is no one responding? What's going on? What's going on here tonight? Okay, I've got a thumbs up. Thank you very much. So which means that they hear me. Tab, if you hear me, give me a thumbs up. Hey, Super Dowd. Professor, how are you? So Tab is having a problem. Tab, you're having a problem with your audio. I can't hear you, and you can't hear me. No, I can't hear you at all. I can't hear you. So maybe we will left this program for another day. Such a shame because over 72 people, and the numbers are developing. Anyway, Fambule, like I've been saying, thank you very much, Professor. It's good to see you. I hope the holiday is going on well, and thanks for that thumbs up. So let me just say a few things about the former vice president, and then we can close the program. But the brother for me not help we a lot. So the issue will be one look at today. It's obvious that the backdrop of TNN TV media empire. Now, for look at issues then and now, which means today and today. That's what we do, and then form an opinion around today and today, and see how that can be taken going forward. And especially at the end of the year, the new year, election coming, membership issues, and etc. We got to remember, say that in 2015, the vice president was expelled from his position as a member of the All People's Congress. That action they taken by Ernest Koroma and his APC party people, in other words, NAC, that's not the advisory council, it set up some things into motion, which became a constitutional crisis in the country, for which up to this day, questions have been asked. People have not take kindly to that, but the bottom line is, this has been discussed at length. But because we've been need for set a premise, so we've been saying that day we begin from. So in 2015, the vice president was made partyless. And according to the one that we sabi boku law them, then tell we say, waiting the law then say is once you not belong to a party, you therefore not occupy the position of the vice presidency because you almost like appear like you are stateless. This is what the lawyer then say. And looking back on reflection, it seems like this is why the action was taken in the first place. Expel the man from the party, the All People's Congress, and therefore other actions can later kick in. We could justify those actions, so they expel him from the party. But what we want to focus on today, now the expulsion of the former Vice President Alhaji Sam Sumana from the All People's Congress. I really don't want to go into the fine print of the rights or wrong, because I had a strong opinion on this, and I've mentioned it a few times. And because this today, me, they ask the questions to somebody else for provide the answer as per their own perspective, then I'm not being willing, for come back with my own strong opinion that I have taken over a period of time. But for those of you who are interested, there are many videos of mine on YouTube and on Facebook, hundreds of them that you can refer to. and we will not talk on this particular issue because, again, the Sierra Leonean people had adjudicated on the issue of the firing of the vice president, both from the party, the expulsion of him, and subsequently what followed. Now, in 2015, yes, 2015, and then later, then remove him as vice president because they set the stage nicely, forget him out so that it does look like a legal attempt. Okay. So 7 years on, the vice president the former VP kept fighting this case, went all around West Africa, sought redress at ECOWAS, and to some degree won the case from an ECOWAS perspective. And we are a member of ECOWAS and a signatory to the protocols of ECOWAS. If we are a signatory to the protocols of ECOWAS, share some common denominators as a body of nations, then therefore those protocols will have to be respected. We can't pick and choose when we want for respected, if and how we are going to respect them. However, we know say the vice president taking case they win them, but then it became a controversy again on the nation. Say, well, ECOWAS does not dictate for us, and then the supreme law of the land reigns supreme, which is true. There cannot be any other law which can reign more supreme, or I don't know what the arrangements were, because this is where the technicality within the ambit of the law comes in. So it makes a lot of sense to me that the supreme law, that's why it's called supreme. Supreme means there's nothing else above it. But then on a technical basis, and this is from your own perspective, that supremacy within they talk, supremacy within they talk about could be within just a confine, and this confine could be within the jurisdiction of the Republic of Sierra Leone. So there could be something bigger and wider once you get out of that scope there. And because you are a signatory to it, then you are obliged for listen, for act in accordance with the diktat of waiting a bigger, larger body they tell you say you for do. But this again, I'm your opinion. I ain't no lawyer. I'm just saying this. So from that moment on, the vice presidency left and formed a party. Because again, like I say, that kicked in a lot of other things that will happen from the moment he was expelled from the party. What the expulsion mean? Expulsion mean you are kicked away from an organization if you're not a student from the school. And this will amount to acts on becoming of you. Like in a school, you broke the rules. And it's so severe that you are expelled because there are categories of punishment. In this case with the vice presidency, he was expelled, and what you understand is due to anti-party activities. Now, anti-party activity, now something working relatively, you're kind of open, as seen by the leadership of the party at the time, through bits and pieces to it and lay the accusation. And because this is not a group of powerful men, what they want to happen will eventually happen. But the vice presidency was accused of anti-party activity. And once you've been accused of anti-party activity, they expel them from the party. And once they expel you from the party, if you want to come back to the party, you get for follow the rules laid down by the same party. And you get for imagine the frustration if the party don't want you again and begin for frustrate you in your way for let you come back inside the party. So this happened over many years. So I think Sumana, the former vice president, began for seek redress through the judiciary, forget this issue of membership solved. Fortunately for him, because the APC been to go through a reformation process itself, there were many angry, upset APCians who thought that the old guard, their time was up. The party need for reform, it need for modernize, it need for have something called elections other than elections. They fought hard. And as a consequence of that, it ended up na the judiciary, and the judiciary get a judge appointed. We been get for look into the case of the All People's Congress then case. Both the reformist, then one day will be one for will be one reform, and the non-reformist them, then one day will not be one reform at all. So it's the new versus the old. So in between, there come many other things which therefore do with the vice presidency. The vice presidency in the sense of membership, readmitting the former vice president into the party, because this is something that I long for. But then it became a technical issue because he not just walk away and just sit down all along, just the wait. He went on the third largest parliamentary political party in the country called the C4C, the Coalition for Change, and had a number of parliamentarians. But of course, it's a fringe party, even though you see the third largest party, but very fringe. I think you get about 7, 8 parliamentarians in an almost 150 MP them inside parliament. So it was still on the fringes, and on its own will never win an elections of some kind of magnitude as the presidency. And because the former vice president had ambitions of becoming a president, he knew fully well that his ambitions will never be realized within the C4C. So he began to make plans, for leave. And at some point, I've forgotten the year, he decided that he will leave the C4C. And not say a whole interview with few of those for and against within the same C4C, because there was plenty of acrimony, plenty of it. Okay. So he left. But when he left, he decided to take the party along with him. We annoyed a lot of C4C people. Okay, remember, it's the same C4C, but it annoyed a lot of C4C people. So some of the C4C people, I've interviewed them. Again, those interviews are on YouTube, just in case you want to follow. I've interviewed the global chairman, Mr. Aliyu Iskandri, lawyer Aliyu Iskandri. And I've also interviewed, what's his name? Ezekiel Metzger, another senior official of the C4C. I've also interviewed Sanyama, one of the founding fathers of the C4C. And these people had a different take. So there was a split within the C4C party. So Sumana left. He write a letter to C4C, say, well, he resigned for go pursue an objective when I for become president of the country. And unfortunately, he began for do this because C4C not go able for provide a platform there for and for win. That kind of level ambition the way he get. But instead of he left the party all by itself, he never did. Instead, he take the party along with him. And in some opinions, some people's views, he also hold the party at ransom, almost like hijack the party, because he hold the party as a leverage. Like say, if they come to APC, and these are the thoughts of some, if they come to the APC, then what you need for do is you get for show something, not to that ordinary come that you come. Waiting, you get for show, we say you go able for help the party, into going into 2023 elections, for help the party for win. So not to you want no more come within the same APC. Are you bringing the C4C along? Because after all, the C4C, even though then have been the third largest, and this is the conundrum here, the third largest party in the country, it comes from only one particular district, where happen for be the Connaught district. But what this was indicative of is, well, if this man can take this much inside this one district, and this district is very critical when it comes to electioneering, because we can describe in the Western terminology as a swing state. So what that means, it depends on which way then decide for go. These are makers and breakers. So in other words, now they can make you, now they can break you. So for example, if elections were to be held, because the Connaught vote is so critical, and that's happening now, Sumana go able for make the next winner of the presidency, because all he need for do now for direct in energy, in vote, in voice to that particular party day, and that party day will emerge victorious. But having said this, of course, these are all things that are happening. But then the former vice president, is now plagued with membership issue, because initially when he left in party, when he write letters, say, well, I don't left C4C, I move on back to the APC. It's obvious to me, even though I'm not an insider, that he will have made a few consultations and not just left in party, say, well, I go back APC. He must have done consultations within the APC, say, this is what I intend to do. So do I want to help for facilitate this process, because whether you want to call me the prodigal son or whatever, now please help for facilitate this process, because I need for move on, for come back to the party which I loved. I moved away from the party which I love. I know the circumstances, but we have to let bygones be bygones. Okay, after all, I am coming back. So we all see the move at that point, the way it ended up in McKinney. It was a big ceremony, and it was very significant, where he go meet the former president, Anes Bakoma. These were two enemies. They fell out. And political fallout can be very toxic in a life and death situation. So reflecting then, when this thing may happen to Sam Sumana, remember there were rumors. This is why I needed Barbah, because he was right in that mix there. There were rumors that the vice president went to the American embassy to seek asylum, but he was turned away about being contained because of Ebola. You're under house arrest and things like these are all fearful when it comes to politics. I mean, you feel threatened in your life, and etc. And we know part of the story of the escape. That was an escape facilitated by the security apparatus, some of them in the country. That's how the vice president left the country. And wait till we understand back again, that's why I've been Barbah, because I read so much of these stories from highly placed people. But just for get corroboration of their story there, it'd be necessary for get Tab on the show, just for confirm, for the benefit of we listener them. So in other words, the vice president been there inside the plane, and that plane was about to taxi off, or was taxiing off, when Freetown, certain sector of Freetown, realized a former vice president was leaving, and word was sent to stop that plane, or the plane was boarded. The plane wasn't allowed to take off as scheduled, was boarded by security personnel, heavyweight security personnel. And then they had a word with Sam Sumana, but Sam Sumana was equally protected by other sources. But in the end, the plane was allowed to fly. You know, one thing at that kind of situation, indeed, these are dangerous situations. Anyway, when they expel you for let you come back, the party in rules, you get for meet up. So this man end up in McKinney. We see all the welcome back. And from that point on, they begin for confuse the general public, saying, well, we know waiting. Well, the vice president will be coming back. Will be coming back does not mean that automatically we don't accept you now, we fall. In fact, as far as we're concerned, there were word out there that the former vice president was given assurance. Assurance again not means you have become or readmitted into our fold, but you will be based on you meeting out certain condition, which is normal. I mean, we can't just hold you hand back and just bring you come back into an organization. A child is expelled from school because of violation of the rules and what have you. Normally, you don't even come back. You have to go and look for a different school because you are no longer welcome. You are persona non grata because you've broken the rules so much so that you are no longer will be welcome in our midst. But this is politics. Because each side need each side. Remember, politics is about the numbers. So in as much as you fear the person, but this person gets so much clout that you need them. And this is where the deceitfulness and the hypocrisy can play in. Because yes, you want them, but you want to keep your enemy at arm's length. Not too far away, but you want to keep her at arm's length. Unfortunately, the Reformation movement within the All People's Congress, which is taking place right now as we speak, is causing a bowel movement in which some people and not catch up say there are changes being made, will be made, and there are more changes yet to come. So yes, you see that structure they at they hustle and tussle and bustle with itself and other people, and they take advantage of that. And this is what the former vice president is capitalizing on. So anyway, One of the initiators of the peace process, the reformation process, what happened for the current leader, Alfred Peter Conte, as per directive of the judiciary, they formed a 21-man committee. This 21-man committee, they splinter. This is interesting. And I'm not going to bother to go into that, here in depth, because we all know the story. Most of what I'm saying is in the public domain. And then you get 11 man yanda, you get 4 man yanda, you get 7 man yanda. Just imagine. This is how they constitute this 21-man or 22-man committee. And then the judge laid down some principles which to this day turn out to be very ambiguous. And that helped for continue for create the confusion within the party to a point where they began for go to and back after wasting a few months of very critical time. They began for go to and back. And instead of him review the judgment to be passed, instead he scrapped and they made a new judgment. Very interesting. However, we begin to see personality cults. We begin to see the splinter groups, them, you're working with different way them forget their own way then done. People the way they expel, how for come back, the issue of membership, where the judge asks for let them address, the need for address them. And then the Alfred Peter Conte faction decide for make a mockery out of democracy. And this is a man who came about, at the helm of power as a consequence of very strong fight. And a fight where I believe is righteous in many respects. And I say righteous in the sense, not from a personal point of view of his, but waiting we know say in the public domain, which is those of us who care for the modern essence of democracy. What we understand is there has to be a battle of will, a battle for position or of positions, not the ballot box. So we put box and people can, me and you, they contest, people can vote and make the decision with membership, then can make the decision as to who that they want. Not to through Yuki and some that has been going on for like time immemorial. Time immemorial. When a few people can shape the destiny of others and they become beholden, the people that we want now, they become beholden to the others. So that in itself was admirable in many respects. Very admirable. Let's get some sound in the background. Fambulem. Let's get some sound in the background. Yeah, this is not the new year they come. And this new year, yeah, we hope for elevate the platform, of course, to another level. But we cannot do that without you. So send in your proposals, send in your suggestions, your views, your opinions. We'll be glad to take them on board, listen, and then know waiting for do it next. So that's so Alfred Conte take kind of power through the fight for democracy. And then when democracy presents an opportunity for let it execute them, he decide for go into autocracy. He decide for go into cronyism, into kleptocracy. The same thing the way he argue about, where he make case against. Now, he finally, Alfred Conte decide for use, for readmit Alfred Peter, the former vice president, into the realm of things. That did not go down well with the membership of the All People's Congress, because of course it wasn't a unanimous decision. Alfred Peter Conte, the leader, declared it as a unanimous decision. No, it wasn't unanimous, because in the first place, the approach was toxic, it was undemocratic, and should not have been done in the first place. And for that, Alfred, I think, was criticized roundly. I think they end up back in the court. But I myself, I've been surprised at Alfred being able to do such. And imagine, he's now walking the corridors of power. The impression we be giving is he is democratic. So therefore, we support democratic governance, the rule of law, free speech, free expression. But then when it comes to real execution, of them, your caveat in the around democracy. He choose the other way. He decide for bring Sumana through the back door. That's the back door. That's not the front door. And what puzzled me is for the vice president himself to go along with that kind of plan. That really baffled me, because this man has been fighting a case for like years, dedicated focus, that he was done injustice. And I like this very wonderful, and he will achieve justice, which is achieved by many degrees, maybe 75%, maybe we got 25% more towards the end, which is more difficult. But this is how far he has come. Remember, his name was tarnished. He was fired from the party, or expelled from the party. He was fired as vice president. He was left to run for his life. But he didn't give up. He went looking for redress. He got redress. And today, whilst all of that is in the making, talking about readmitting him into the party, and therefore remember when he go to McKinney, shortly after he left C4C, he was told that decision, a letter was given to him, and we all got confused with that letter. But the letter was to welcome him, not officially as a member, but welcome his idea of return. You see, we have to be careful. This is where the technicality is. And outside social media don't become dangerous. It's people away barely not understand stuff. They pretend as if they understand it. In other words, people we're not a lawyer, they want to talk lawyer stuff. Or even when you talk lawyer stuff, instead of you make them understandable, say, well, this is not your own perspective as you understand them, and you could be fully wrong. You take ownership because you did talk something on a professional level of which you don't belong to that profession. You're not qualified within that realm. But yet you go try for, you act as if you sabi so, and all you do is spreading more disinformation. However, having said this, what can happen now is the vice president was told that the issue around membership will be resolved at a NAC or convention meeting. In other words, when the party convene, then convention. The issue of membership will be high priority. This is where it will be discussed, and this is where a decision will be taken. Obviously, that seems a long way away. It looked very long way away, because even though a timetable was set, we all know at some point, Partido Ready for Go convention, that was upturned by a court order saying this cannot go ahead because the party not satisfy some of the criteria them way the court, and part of a membership asked, and we don't intervene in behalf of this membership. We say na so. So we pause this convention. I mean, this was all set to go. People have started traveling to the convention point, and huge investment in businesses, structures, infrastructures, and of course, what's supposed to be being for this will not happen. So anyway, the vice president in program got delayed there. African come take money from him, and then say in the interest of unity. Of course, that was finally crafted. Still remember, I think that was back in August when he made that declaration. In the interest of unity and cohesiveness, we are welcoming back those who were expelled from the party, and this include the former vice president. Of course, this was big news. This was huge news. But again, my own disappointment is because that process they be illegal. It be illegal to me, and I think I raised that issue in the sense that waiting Alfred tried to do for justify that was really unprofessional, and it be unrighteous, illegal, and be look deliberate, because it seemed either like he be frustrated or decide for just use raw power. So we know say the judge say decisions taken by the ITGC, that are the Interim Transitional Council, will be based on a simple minority. It can't be clearer than that. Decisions taken by this body will be based on a simple majority. So if we are 21 people, the number of people where they take a decision, okay, That means that the entire body, when they take a decision, we go stand and we get legal basis. Now, where the decision taken is representative of a tiny majority. So 21 people left, as long as 11 say yes, that's fine. In a sitting, but it has to be inclusive. So it can still be 10 person in a sitting of 20 people and maybe one person sick and what have you, but not a way. And this is good. I can't believe this go up and down. That Alfred would try for, like how you call them, put cotton wood through with nose or wash with face go up. I really can't believe this, because this guy has been smart this far. How then can you come to that as if the other people they're so blind? So only your own faction of this 21-man committee convened, which I believe amount to 7 people. And because now meeting, you decide for say, well, the meeting gets a quorum by your own definition. Because 7 people meet, but these 7 people are all yours. So there are no opposing voices. Because remember, say you get 3 parts to this ITGC, 4 people, 7 people, and then I believe a 10 person, headed by the leader in the house, Cherry Coco. So you get your own 7 people, and you say a decision has been reached because you had a quorum. That was laughable. And this is when you begin to see the exhibition of dictatorial tendencies at a very early age, or early signs of dictatorial tendency. And you tend for things say funny, or this is something that we can overlook. No, but that was intentional, because it's the same thing. When it happened, in my mind, so I said to myself, when I see fumble him. So even when them part of me, they make the decision. So sometimes there were frustrating moments. I don't back them, I don't side with them. But then I can still understand why some decisions have to be taken. Because if you take them in the greater good, then obviously those decisions can be justified. But was this the case? Is this the case? No, it wasn't. This is not being all about, the nature of self, the nature of me being the chair and me being undermined, the nature of no cohesion within the union which was set up by the court. And how do you guys forge ahead, bearing that you've got millions of people behind you, party stalwarts, party members, sympathizers. So you decide to take that decision there. To me, I find that wrong. And for the vice president to go along with that, where I've been expecting for know that much, I was shocked. Let me be honest with that. I was really shocked. Another thing I want to talk about quickly before I close this program is the one on Ebola. Of course, many things can just come up as soon as they come up, and people then can just say, wow, look what happened. Ebola business come up, they talk about it's like a dip in the frying pan, it's done with and it's gone. And nobody really talk about it again. But I remember say, this vice president made a critical statement regarding Ebola. A critical statement regarding Ebola, accusing his former boss of signing documents to basically allow for them to bring Ebola out of the country. In other words, the former president, Koroma, was bribed. Now, this is no joke. This is serious, and I don't know why Mother Bio government not take this very seriously. I mean, from a very top official, the number 2 man of the country. Why did Mother Bio not take this issue seriously? Why was the former vice president not summoned to be questioned by the security services, at least for provide an insight into what he said? No, so that those things can be documented. Why wasn't he taken seriously? And Fambulem, bearing in mind that we lost thousands and thousands of people, 3,000-4,000 of people died as a consequence of Ebola. So if we begin hearing from that kind of level, so it's not okay, let's talk you hear somebody from Kube or Don Kojimi or Katakumbe. No, this is not the former vice president that you hear this talk from. That the former president will happen for being boss, take money and sign paper and allow the virus to be shipped into the country. and spread them around. If this not a treason, wanna tell me what else not treason? I mean, they say if Andeskoma was to do this and investigations is conducted, of course, this is not crime of treason. But why wasn't he taken seriously? Or better ask, was this the case then? Was it serious? Was it serious? So where was Sam Sumana all these years with this allegation? He just find out the truth now? He just find out the truth now since 2015 when he was removed from power? Because he's just making this allegation now? Or why would he make the allegation in the first place? Is he getting desperate for power? Because if he is, then he will become fearful by the day. We really need to understand that as such. If this is the case, then he's becoming fearful by the day. Family, this is not the day now, and I want to take a quick break and talk about a book, and then we'll come and close the program. I can see the background, and this is the book. It's called The Allegory of Zangola. Okay, The Allegory of Zangola. It's written by a brother called Abubakar Mansare, and I go advise Fambulem for sort of find a way for get access to the book. For don't get all the details, of course, they may not provide me with the details, and I done the like skip over and even as we speak so tonight, the publishers and the points of sale are not on top of me memory right now, but at least you can Google them, and that should be easy for you fan. Okay, so it's called The Allegory of Zangola. It's a very, very interesting book, and this is Sierra Leonean writing. Is set around the post-colonial era within the continent of Africa. So the main character them na Adama and Bala. So what they do in this book is they share the the experience that na pre-colonial, during colonial period. They share that experience and with the experience we then share is one of plenty, it's one of abundance, it's one of democratic principles, if you like, the rule of law, good governance, and etc. Within the same book, they also juxtapose the thought process. So there are two aspects: pre-colonial and then post-colonial. So pre-colonial, which I just described, and then you get post-colonial, when everything begins for decay, when the structures as were accumulated by the Aswal government, them we take over power after independence, begin for break down all the institutions there, where they begin for politicize them. Difficulties begin for show, bad experience, bad governance begin for show from them 10 and they up to this day. So the breaking down of the country. This is what the allegory of Zangola is all about. And I just talk about them briefly today. There will be a program on them because I will get a brother so we can come and talk about his book. And the brother, again, once more, is called Abubakar Mansare. He will be on this program at some point, and as soon as we get a convenient date and time, we will be calling on him, here to come and attend to the calling. It's a very beautiful book. It's about 138 pages. Yeah, it's about 138 pages. For those of us who get eye problem, it's clearly written, bold. When I say bold, I don't mean capital letters. I mean the how will you call it? The font is very clear. So I don't even need my glasses, here to read it. So it's called The Allegory of Zangola, and this is Abubakar Mansare. The brother is based in Holland. He's a painter, and he also writes. So now let we try for patronize the brother. This is what they talk about. We need for lift ourselves up. Not for go cut job with somebody like when we get the copy, so now you want borrow them for read them. No, it costs probably about £5-7 or £10. And like I said, we'll talk much about them. Try and get a copy and feel proud as a Sierra Leonean. Say you do a patriotic duty by patronizing a Sierra Leonean. We made an attempt at being an author. We write a fine book. It's the allegory of Zangola. Very interesting. Okay, family. Then we come to the end of this particular program. I think I got about 10 more minutes for wrap up the program. So right now, as we speak, Fambulem, there are still issues within the All People's Congress Party about registration. And largely, the C4C, as I understand them, or let's take the C4C away from this one. Let me talk about the Kono side of things. So there is this feud ongoing about Kono. So Kono knows its significance. And 2 years ago, I said that traditional way in which Kono can vote has become different because why? The young people of Kono are taking hold of their destiny, not the same old people, and they can't dictate to the people of Kono, in which direction for go. No, they are clever enough for know the way how they want for go in terms of voting for who that they want for vote for, when and how. This is the new Kono, and we'll talk about this new dynamism some 2 years ago. And 2 years on, I feel vindicated because I see how they play out whilst the argument they on go. So anyway, there is this camp of Sumana and there's this camp of Dana Konomani. And then somewhere Dr. Kaifala Mara is somewhere playing within the Kono vote. He's not from Kono, but of course he worked there, he's affiliated, associated, and in many degree, he's got deep roots in terms of an affiliation and affinity with the people of Kono. So this feud is ongoing as to who is who. So what you go on now is the Kono people are grumbling about registration process. There are threats which look like say it's going to be physical because they said that they will appear at voting centers if they not give them voting cards because they are saying that they have been left out of this process by not issuing them with voting cards, and all because they belong to the Sumana camp. These are all allegations by my view. They are yet to be verified or corroborated because all the people I'm hearing it from are people who belong to the same camp. As soon as I hear it from somebody else or other people or groupings, then obviously I go and come back to the attention of the public. But for now, who I'm hearing all of this from, now from the same people who are supporting the former vice president, that they have been denied their membership card, that they've paid their dues, their outstandings. They've gone to the bank, I think the Rokel Commercial Bank, where the APC operates an account. They've paid their dues. They were issued with their slips, here indicating payment. Time for cards to be issued. Something else came up. And accusations have been made around Diana Konomani that she's influencing the situation. And these young men are saying that they're not going to sit down and allow this to happen. Well, anyway, we're hoping that the PPRC is taking note and gradually they will act accordingly because we don't want any room for violence. As election they approach, we need for no say people that go make amends. This is why we named this particular program the Sumana Factor, because this was all about him. And we'll talk about a Modus Vivendi, whether a Modus Vivendi point can be reached or they can realize such a point. In other words, both sides understands the difference and try to accommodate both sides so that they can form a reasonable middle ground so that there will be peace and unity in going forward. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a Then and Now TNN Media Empire production. I have been your host and presenter, Prince Emil Koma. And don't forget, me and Cherno Alpha M. Bar of the Africanist Press will be having 2 days. 2 days of reflection on the year 2022. It's going to be a masterclass because we therefore try and cover almost everything we happened back in 2022 or we happened this year where we can bring to an end. So me and him will depend for 2 days covering from January to December. So we'll not forget for tuning. It's going to be on the 30th and on the 31st of this particular year. That's how we are going to close this year. In the new year, like I said, I pray for everybody that the wishes that we get for we and we family, may it become the very portion where we really want to see for ourselves and we love ones them. We pray for all the one that we die. We pray for the family of those who lost loved ones, good friends along the wayside. May the souls of those that perished, may they find a final resting place, and may they continue to rest in peace. May they continue to rest in peace. For those of us who are sick, we pray for a speedy recovery. We pray say we all go able to cross the Rubicon together in 2023, and we will see this new horizon, and we will keep our country up and above everything else. No powerful men, no powerful women, only the country. Country first before political party. Country first before strong men. If we do this, we will find out, say, 2023 will make so much of a difference that subsequent years to come, we can only improve. I want to say thank you all for listening. Until I see you again, can I say goodbye for now? Thank you so much. This night, TNN Media Empire Production. Good night. Goodbye. See you shortly. Once more, thank you all for sharing and living up to the TNN TV Media Empire. Without you, we cannot be. This is the hub of the conversation. Like we promised last year, we promised this year, we're going to up our game this particular year. But we only do this with you. Stay blessed, and I not until we see you again. Goodbye.